These promoters do not know what they're talking about. I've heard them talk about, Conor has had to go up in weight, so really he's the one in danger because he's fighting someone who's 160. The person who's 160 is really coming down from 175.
Ben has more psychologically on his side than Eubank does this time. I think that's going to be a difference.
Can't forget how violent, how taxing, and how physically enduring an opportunity for Conor Benn to wipe out that defeat on his record.
Yeah, I want the revenge, man. I want my revenge.
Chris Eubank Sr. has issued a stark warning ahead of his son's highly anticipated rematch with Conor Benn. He claims the fight could turn dangerous if greed overshadows preparation. Eubank Sr. expressed deep concern for Chris Eubank Jr.'s safety, insisting promoters are prioritizing profit over protection. He revealed that harsh contract terms, including a 160-pound weight limit and strict rehydration rules, left his son drained in their first fight. These conditions, he said, were designed to maximize profit rather than safeguard Eubank Jr.'s health or long-term career.
Overreact. What I'm here to do is protect and the uneducated against those, what did my son call them? Scumbuckets? If that's the term he gave to the promoters, he's not wrong. They're treating us like we are meat. They're butchering us. My son he's not going to back down from anything. Why? Two things. One, money. Two, the heart. He's a warrior. I'm afraid of no man. Conor's the same. They both have heart. They both have this desire to keep the family name in the highest of positions. I saw Conor. I always speak of him. And I know that there are people in the comments saying, well, why don't you speak of your son? I know what my son did. My son did the impossible. I'm going to speak on Conor again for a moment. We all saw how brilliant he was in this fight, of which he lost. What couldn't he do at his proper weight, fighting a man of his size? Let me tell you what Junior did. He took away all the sweeties from everyone. They fined him, they blocked him on rehydration, they tricked him on weight. Once you're bringing him down to 160, he's 35 years old. He's a man, he's a big man. He'll do it because he's a warrior, but he shouldn't do it. But he's not going to listen to anyone. If he's not going to listen to me, he's not going to listen to anybody else. So the rematch is, Junior, you have everything, you're rich. Those promoters, they hate you because they can never get close to anything that you do. The analogy I will use, they're looking at you like you're a rocket, you've taken off, all the fuel burners and tanks have fallen back to Earth, and you are now in space. They don't have the oxygen to be in the world you live in. They would do anything to be able to live at that.
The rematch is set for November 15, 2025, at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. It will be contested at a 160-pound middleweight limit with a 10-pound rehydration clause, identical to their first bout originally scheduled for September 20th. The fight was postponed to November due to readiness and scheduling.
That's going to be on November 15th, and that's going to be the instant classic being rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. The bad blood is still there, the rivalry of their fathers. The first fight, we had the egg, we had Eubank Sr., the last-minute arrival, and then we had an unbelievable and unforgettable war. This time, there's no blood lost. They're fighting at the same venue over there in England, and the same contracted weight of 160 pounds with the same rehydration clause of 10 pounds for the day of the fight. So Eubank cannot go over.
Eubank Sr. revealed that after the first fight, his son was severely dehydrated and barely sweating by the end. He warned that the weight limit and rehydration clause were life-threatening and vowed to prevent promoters from putting his son in the same position again.
Drained, they put a rehydration clause in. They fined him some £500,000 for coming in, 2 ounces over the weight. It was reported to me by Lawrence Lustig, who is a very famous photographer. Junior wasn't even sweating at the end of the fight. Dehydration. These rules are in place to save my son, to save the lives of fighters. Unfortunately, the reporters, the journalists are not doing their job. They're not holding them to account. Gareth Davis, do your job. Simon Jordan, you speak on boxing, do your job. You are not credible if you let these things happen. What you are is...
The senior Eubank has repeatedly criticized the fight's organization. He emphasized that extreme weight cuts strain a fighter's body and increase the risk of injury. He remains vocal about promoters prioritizing financial gain over fighter safety.
You better watch out, dreadlocks. You better watch out, because we are come for you. Oh, sorry. It's my mother's tongue again. It comes through. You'd better watch out, because we're not playing. We're real, and we are a terror. And the procedure will be parliamentary.
Veteran trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas weighed in on the rematch, praising the first fight as an iconic clash full of animosity, legacy, and drama. He highlighted the deep-rooted bad blood tied to the father's rivalry and called it a banger that captured public attention. Atlas praised Eubank Jr.'s skill in counters and Benn's pressure and aggression, declaring the matchup a perfect example of classic boxing storytelling.
Go back and watch my breakdown of that fight afterwards, of my synopsis of the fight, my review of the fight. I couldn't have been more complimentary or excited, and nor shouldn't I have been. Matter of fact, as excited and as complimentary as I was about those two warriors, those two men that shared the ring that night, I could have went even further, which I don't know if I could have, but nobody could have said, oh, that's too much, Teddy, because nothing was too complimentary. Nothing would have been too much on the positive side about how iconic, how historic that fight was. A fight that people had their doubts if it could ever live up to the hype, because it was built about their fathers. It was built about the history of their fathers, two tremendous fighters over in the UK. It was built about the bad blood. You just talked about it, the egg in the face by Eubank to Benn, the whole thing. And it lived up to it. That doesn't happen too often. It surpassed it. To answer your question, can it live up to? I don't think it can. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. But I don't know if it's possible. But I will tell you this. They left a lot of themselves. That was a war. Forget about how magnificent it was, how great it was for the sport, how great it was for the fans. But that was a damaging fight. That was a
Atlas noted that Eubank Jr.'s sharp hand speed, counterpunching, and outside fighting ability will be key. He also highlighted Benn's aggressive style and said the rematch may hinge on whether Benn can pressure Eubank Jr. Atlas believes Benn enters with more to prove and predicted he could win if he executes a smart game plan.
Eubank had to prove more than Benn. Benn was undefeated, yes. Eubank had been stopped. Eubank had been beaten. Eubank, a lot of people said, you talk like your father, you promote like your father, but you're not your father. You know, when push comes to shove, you're not your father. He had a lot to prove. He had a lot to prove, and he proved it. He proved it. And one other thing. He had a falling out with his father. His father was worried about him making a weight. It could hurt him. He could get hurt. And they didn't talk. And the father wasn't going to come to the fight. And what happened? Well, the father behaved like a father. The father showed up. He came to the fight. And he was there for his son. Wow. What a boost that was. He's not going to have that this time, bud. He had that. What a boost. Nobody knew that was going to be in the cards. Nobody knew that was written into the script. He showed up and he gave that boost to his son. That ain't happening this time. It's been done already. I think Eubank had a lot to prove. I think he proved it. I think he had a lot to prove to the fans, to himself, and to his father. I think he wanted to win the love and respect and approval of the father. He did. And that's powerful. He don't have that this time. Maybe he's satisfied a little bit. Maybe. Because he did that already. Ben has more to prove to.
Supporting Atlas, British middleweight contender Hamza Shiraz believes Benn's relentless, high-pressure style could neutralize Eubank Jr.'s advantages. Sustained aggression, he says, might offset the size difference between the fighters.
Won't get the better of Eubank?
I think Conor Benn beats Eubank, but I kind of need Eubank to win. Do you know what I mean? For myself, from a selfish perspective, I need him to win.
Did you want to fight him?
Yeah, exactly.
Would it be the first defence if you win that, or when you win that WBC title? Is that someone that you would choose?
100%, 100%. As long as obviously everyone's okay with it, it'd be that. I mean, why not? It'd be the biggest fight for me next in boxing, and I haven't got long left in the 160-pound division, so it's not me going on about taking.
Analyst Spencer Finn emphasized the generational rivalry between the Eubanks and Benns. The legacy of their father's legendary bouts adds weight to the fight, increasing pressure on both men to uphold family honor and capturing public attention.
And the hatred that he has, and I know when you really dislike someone, it brings something out of you. But, you know, I'm looking forward to that fight. For the simple fact is, like, that event within itself is fantastic because it's crossed over. Lots of people are talking about it. Everywhere you go, people are talking about it. There is nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely excellent. And plus, I can remember when the two fathers first fought, and the second time is when they fought in October of of '93. But when the fathers first fought, when they first went at it, I remember that fight clearly in my head. It was a Sunday night. It was at November 18th, 1990, and it was like, it seemed like the world stopped to watch that fight. And this has drawn something from it because everybody's talking about it. And fair play to both men. They're selling the fight really well, which is genuine. It's not orchestrated. Oh, you're going to do this. No, it's proper. So I'm looking forward to it.
Legendary trainer Roy Jones Jr. praised Eubank Jr.'s improvements, noting that his enhanced skills, size, and strength could pose serious challenges for Ben. He warned that if Ben cannot land impactful punches, Eubank Jr. could dominate
Very tough fight for Conor. Not saying he can't win it because one big left hook could change anything. But to me, his best chance are to try to land a big shot. If that don't happen, or if he lands it and it don't hurt Chris, then it's going to be pretty rough for him because Chris is definitely an improved fighter. You understand me? And like, even the stuff he's doing now, he's going to continue to get better. But I think when he came down there with me for that year, it improved his foundation. You understand me? So it made him a better fighter. So he's going to be hard to beat for anybody, especially a guy that's smaller than him. But we saw Liam Smith pull out the upset that one time. So I know that gave Ben much more hope that he could probably do the same. So it's going to be a great fight. Both fighters are great fighters. I love both of them. I think Chris is a little bigger and has the advantage because he's bigger, but it's going to be a great fight.
You know what, a lot of people are talking about it, Roy, you know about cutting weight and whatnot. A lot of people talking about Chris Eubank Jr. now being at 160 and maybe being tight at that weight now, but the rehydration clause, 10 pounds, I'm saying, listen, with a 10 pound rehydration clause in it, that won't affect him at all.
That won't affect him at all, but
Trainer Dave Coldwell highlighted Eubank Jr.'s experience and size as key advantages. Years at the elite level have taught him to stay composed under pressure, giving him an edge.
I just think that, you know, there's size advantages with Chris. There's experience at fighting at a higher level with Chris, but there's also a lot more wear and tear on Chris. Also, you know, Chris is getting older. Making 160 is getting harder, but just getting older is a fact. Age catches up on us, and I thought in his last fight, I did think he looked old. So there are a lot of factors to this fight. There's, you know, Conor Benn's not boxed at the level. Not that Chris is, you know, an amazing level, but he's not had the same sort of experience as what Chris has had. But also, he's sharper, he's faster, and we've seen that Chris can get knocked out.